Hey everybody, today I want to talk to you about cognitive dissonance. When I first saw that term, I had to go and look it up because I had no idea. What does cognitive dissonance mean? And it basically means when your mind is holding two competing thoughts. So you're thinking, this is basically in the realm of toxic relationships. You're thinking, how can somebody who says they love me or said they love me do this to me? How many times have you guys thought that? If you've been in a relationship, in a toxic relationship, an emotionally abusive relationship, then that's probably something that's gone through your mind many times. Or maybe you've said to your partner, how can you do this to me? And say that you love me. And the reason I'm talking about this today is because today I'm going to court with somebody that I represent, obviously, and it's a long-term marriage, and my client found out a couple of years ago that his wife had been having an affair the entirety of their marriage. I said it was a long-term marriage. Their children are grown. Their children are in their 20s now. And she started having the affair before they got married, the week before they got married, and continued the affair the entirety of their marriage. And when I work with this client, it's been very difficult for him, obviously, to go through this, because when you have this disbelief about how this can happen to me, how did this happen? How did this person who I was with every day sharing my life do this to me? Well, it could be that they have a personality disorder like narcissistic personality disorder. And if they do, they don't even realize what they're doing. Now they do on a conscious level, they do, but at the same time, they can't wrap their heads around the emotional toll that it takes on you because they lack empathy. They lack empathy and the ability to connect. And so they're not feeling because I think if you've ever been in that position where somebody has mistreated you like that, and you know how incredibly hurtful it is, then you won't do it, right? So cognitive dissonance, it's something that definitely comes up a lot in my practice. So if you're someone who has been suffering, I've got this hair, sorry. If you've got this situation where you're thinking that, I had a woman come in yesterday who's been married for 15 years or so, and she said this to me: I can't believe he did this to me. I can't believe he did this. And I said, you know, it seemed kind of surprising to me too, because he hadn't talked to her about it. Suddenly she's served with divorce papers, and I'm like, did you have a conversation about it at all? And she says, not really, no. And I said, you were completely surprised? And she said, yeah. And she, you know, because when you think that this is somebody you trust, this is somebody that you have given your life to, this is someone that you've raised children with, it can be really hard to get out of that space of disbelief. So if you're contemplating divorce, if you've been divorced, and in fact, I had a case not too long ago with a woman who had been divorced for several years, and now her ex-husband has moved on, has a new girlfriend, and suddenly things have become horrific. And they're videotaping her at all the exchanges. They're sending horrible emails to her. They're saying ugly things to her. They're texting her horrible things. They're saying ugly things to the child about her. And when she came in to see me with her new husband, she said, this is not the man that I was married to. And through the course of the case, I said, there's something not right about him. And I couldn't, of course, I'm not a therapist. I can't diagnose people, not officially anyway. But I could tell by the interactions, and she showed me, because she was in such disbelief that she wanted to go back through and show me, we used to get along fine. What happened? What happened to this relationship? Why is he treating me this way? And all I can tell you guys is that spending a lot of time on why they did it to you is not going to help you move into a new place. You have to try to be present with where you are. And we did a live stream. We did a show on, it's on Project Positive Change, about midlife, and we talked about 3 different ways that you can move from this place. And one of them is the one that I suggested is to really be present. And we can spend a lot of time thinking about what could happen, what I want to happen, what I wish did happen, but all we have is now, right? If anybody is interested in reading Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, that's a really great book to talk to you about being in the present, being in the now. And that may sound a little new agey, and that's okay, because being in the now or being in the present just means really being in the space that you're in fully. And that means you're not thinking about all those things that could have happened. You're not worrying about all those things in the future. You're really staying grounded in what's going on right now. And some of the ways that you can do that is to practice gratitude. Now, I started this several years ago. Clients would come in and they would start wanting to talk about all the things that their ex had done to them. And I would say, well, we can spend this time doing that, or we can talk about what we're going to do now. Because it's really not, I mean, if you want to go talk to a counselor, I mean, there's a certain amount of time that you need to spend healing, thinking through it, trying to understand what's happening to you. And I suggest reading Psychopath Free. If you go on Quora, there are message boards there that are really super helpful about narcissism and toxic relationships. So learn about it. Try to figure out what's going on. But then you really need to, in your everyday life, just focus on where you are right now. Find some gratitude for the things that make you happy, because I know there are things that make you happy. Your children, or your pets, or the fact that you're in good shape, or the fact that you have a family that loves you, or the fact that you have a good job. There are things that you can find happiness with. So this cognitive dissonance thing, look it up in the dictionary, because I'm sure that I don't have the most technical way of explaining it, but it's something that we all go through. How could that have happened to me? Or how could that person be doing this to me? And through my practice, and I tried really to get the people to focus on, to get my clients to focus on how we can be effective in moving on, because it can be paralyzing, especially in a litigation sense, when you're trying to determine what's the best way to move forward for my children, for me. It can be paralyzing if you're stuck in that place of, how is this happening to me? How is this happening to me? I had a client who had been married again many, many years, and suddenly her husband, who had made a very good income, well over $100,000, and she had not worked, and she found out he'd had a number of affairs. Even at the trial, she still was saying, I still want to be married. I don't want to go through this. Because she still couldn't believe that the man that she loved was doing this to her. Not only had he been cheating on her and was divorcing her after 27, 30 years, but he wanted to leave her with nothing. Think about that. So I understand cognitive dissonance, and I want you to understand that what you're thinking and feeling is absolutely part of the whole process. Not to get down on yourself, not to, not to feel bad that it's bothering you, that you can't understand it. Just realize that it's a very real component of being in a toxic relationship, and it's something that everybody goes through if you're in that toxic narcissistic relationship. So cognitive dissonance is not something that you need to think, I'm crazy, because again, we talked about crazy making and gaslighting yesterday. So that's it. That's my mini lesson for today. Since tomorrow is Thanksgiving here in the US, I'm not sure if I'll be talking about narcissistic personality disorder or any other toxicity. I'll be giving thanks with my mama in Tuscumbia. So thanks everybody for watching. Hey, Kelly, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.